shoes. Really important that he's got a firm stance there when he's trying to throw. Jose Caliera, the pitching coach, on to calm down his troops, saying you got a double play ball anywhere. Ground ball, you can go to the plate. We are seeing some action in the Brazilian bullpen. Just loosening up. So big opportunity for Colombia here. What a start it would be if Dilson Herrera could come up with a base hit here. That would score at least one and maybe more. Breaking ball fouled off the end of the bat for strike one. Infield playing back at double play depth, so they're not going to try to cut down the run at the plate. If the ball's on the ground, they're going to try to turn an inning-ending double play. Arroyo at third, Pertuz at second, Martinez at first, the base runners for Colombia. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Herrera. Good curveball there from Natel. Dilson Herrera. That bottom just dropped out of that curveball. Good 12-6 action there for Felipe Natel. He could sure use a strikeout. The 0-2. Swung and a miss. Curveball rings him up, and a huge strikeout there for Felipe Natel in Brazil. Herrera down on strikes. Curveball rung him up. And there are two away here in the top of the first. Let's take another look at that. Downer action on the curveball. Herrera couldn't find it. Nice block by Barros. Gathers it, tags him out. And there are now two away. Bases are still loaded for Colombia. That brings the right fielder, Derwin Pomares, into the batter's box. Fastball misses outside. Three consecutive singles for Colombia here in the top of the first, but nothing across yet. Slider misses outside, and Natel falls behind 2-0. He's got nowhere to put Pomares. Bases are loaded. There you see the three Colombian base runners. Curveball misses high, and the count goes to 3-0. So the red lights are warning lights are flashing for Brazil here. And that misses outside for ball four. So that will force in the run. Pomares with the base on balls and the RBI. Arroyo trots across the plate to score. As Felipe Natel walks in a run. Four straight pitches. Ramon Ito encouraging Felipe Natel. But it's Colombia that scores first in this gold medal game. That brings Leandro Emiliani, the first baseman, into the batter's box. Swings through the strike run, and Natel's ahead. Little cut fastball slider inside. Bases are still loaded. One run across for Colombia, looking for more. Curveball misses low, but a good nod of the head there from Gabriel Barros saying that's a good pitch. And it was. But Emiliani with a good eye lays off. Count is even 1-1. Swing and a miss on the curveball, and Emiliani falls behind. That curveball has been Natel's best pitch, I think, in this inning. Well, that one more of a changeup. Tailed away and down. So the count's 1-2. Did he go? Yes. Third base umpire Jimenez says he went around, so that will be an inning-ending strikeout for Emiliani. And Colombia strand 3 base runners, but they score a run. Take another look on the replay. Could not hold up. He definitely went around. Third base umpire rings him up, and he's called out on strikes to end the inning. But Colombia score the first run of this gold medal game. 1 run on 3 hits. They strand 3 runners. It'll be Brazil coming up in the bottom of the first, trailing 1-0. Up for Brazil in the home half of the first inning. Ariel Frigo will lead it off, followed by Okuda, Coutinho, Orlando, Carvalho, Murakami, Rojo, Bonos, and Mizukoshi. And the defensive lineup for Colombia, the outfielder left to right, Dilson Herrera is in left, Jesus Mariaga in center field, Derwin Bomara is the right fielder. Around the infield, Fabian Partuz at third, Francisco Acuna at shortstop, Jose Ramos at second base, Leandro Emiliani at first base, Carlos Martinez behind the plate, and Victor Vargas is the starting pitcher today for Colombia. As we look at those gorgeous snow-peaked Andes Mountains that frame Santiago, it's a view I never get tired of looking at. It is so beautiful. Victor Vargas had 1 appearance in the tournament, but it was a big one. He pitched 5 innings in a 6-2 win over Venezuela. It was a crucial game for Colombia. They were 0-2 in the opening round. They needed that win over Venezuela to get them just into the super round, which they got into on a tiebreak. First pitch inside to the leadoff batter, Ariel Frigo. So Victor Vargas being entrusted with the start today for Colombia. Tailing fastball swung on and missed. Letting Frigo slightly to pull. That ball hit the opposite way into the gap. And that will drop in for a leadoff single for Ariel Frigo. Leadoff runner aboard for Brazil in the bottom of the first. Just took it the opposite way into the gap. Derwin Pomare could not track it down. Pedro Okuda into the box, squares to bunt, but bunts it foul. We've seen that a lot throughout the tournament from this Brazilian team. They'll employ the sacrifice bunt. They'll try to manufacture runs. Francisco Acuna at short, trying to stay warm. About 16 degrees at game time in Sirius. That one is going all the way to the backstop, so no bunt necessary. Frigo advances on the wild pitch. So quickly a runner in scoring position for Brazil in the bottom of the first, nobody out. So do you keep the sacrifice on? Push the runner to third? We're going to find out. We've seen Okuda showing bunt. Squares again, gets it down. Is there going to be a play at third? A look over. But Vargas decides against throwing to third. Pivots and throws it to first to get the safe out. So Okuda gets the job done with the sacrifice bunt. Frigo advances to third. And that brings Victor Coutinho into the batter's box, the number 3 hitter, the Brazilian first baseman. You can see the outfield playing in, trying to cut down the run at home plate. Fastball catches the inside part of the plate for strike one. Victor's had a strong tournament there as the Brazilian first baseman with the bat. That ball hit on the ground to the right side. Right Rojo looks the runner back, goes on to first for the second out of the inning. So the drawn-in infield paying off for Colombia. No chance for Frigo to score. That ball hit sharply at Ramos. And now the infield can move back with two away. Good job by Victor Vargas to induce the ground ball. That brings Paulo Orlando, the center fielder. Takes inside, ball one. Paulo betting 200 for the tournament. Swings through that high fastball. Victor Vargas gave up a leadoff single. Wild pitched the runner up to second base. Now trying to deal with Orlando to get out of the inning unscathed. That ball lifted in the air. Is it going to drop? No, it will be Derwin Pomares coming across the right fielder to take charge, to make the catch and retire the side. So Orlando flies out to right to end the inning. Leadoff single, left stranded. It was quite a long run for Derwin Pomares. Says to Jesus Mariaga, I've got it. Puts it away to make the catch and retire the side. So no runs across for Brazil on one hit. One run left on base, and we head for the top of the second in the gold medal game with Colombia leading it 1-0. Bottom of the order due up for Colombia in the top of the second. Jesus Mariaga, the number 8 hitter. He'll be followed by Jose Ramos, and then back to the top of the order for Francisco Acuna. You see some of the fans here in Cerrillos, one of the Cuban supporters. 8 nations competing in the baseball event. The baseball event was the first event of any kind in action at the Pan American Games. The baseball competition actually started 2 days before the opening ceremonies. Host nation Chile took on Mexico on the diamond here in Cerrillos to get the Pan American Games underway, Santiago 2023. 10 days later, it's the gold medal game. Of those 8 competing nations, the top 2 are here this afternoon in Cerrillos looking for a gold medal. Colombia with the early advantage, leading at 1-0. Jesus Mariaga. Fastball missing low. Of the 2 teams, you'd have to say that Colombia's got the momentum coming into this game. That ball lifted in the air and foul. Colombia was facing departure from the tournament. They lost their first 2 games, very close games. Lost a 4-3 game to Cuba. And they lost an 8-7 game to Brazil. So they were 0-2 in the opening round. Curveball misses outside. And then the turnaround began. They had a huge 6-2 win over Venezuela. Victor Vargas started that game. That got them to 1-2 in the standings in that opening round. And so that meant a tiebreak And the World Baseball Softball Confederation uses a tie-breaking formula called total quality balance tiebreak. So mathematical formula, swing and a miss through the curveball. So Colombia won that tiebreaker, and they were ranked number 2, and that pushed them into the super round. And in the super round, well, Colombia got super all right. They had a 10-2 win over Mexico, a 2-1 win over Panama. Curveball catches the outside corner. Mariaga goes down on strikes, caught looking, one away in the top of the second. So Colombia coming into this game on a 3-game winning streak. Mariaga said, "Coach, that was outside." Coach says the umpire said it wasn't. No problem, get him next time. That was a pretty good pitch. One thing you do not want to do is get thrown out of the game arguing balls and strikes in a gold medal game. Jose Ramos, the number 9 hitter, into the box. Half swings at a curveball, and first base umpire Manuel Perez says, yeah, he went around. Yes, he did. Dilson Herrera making the catch in left field. Ramos flies out to left, and there are 2 away in the top of the second. Ramos kind of had to. Curveball drops in for a strike. Felipe Natel steadying in, it looks like, here in the second inning after giving up 3 consecutive singles and walking in a run in the first inning. Curveball misses just outside. That'll run the count to 3-1. Edwin Hernandez behind the plate, umpiring today. Curveball drops in for strike 2. Acuna tried to sell him on the walk, but no chance. That was a great pitch. No doubter. That was a strike. Full count. Hit hard on the ground. Lucas Rojo ranges across onto first to retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning for Brazil. Nice job by Felipe Natel coming back after that rather rough first inning. Colombia goes down in order in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We will head for the bottom of the second. Colombia leading it in the gold medal game in men's baseball by a score of 1-0. Some of the sights and sounds of the baseball here in Serios coming up for Brazil. The 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. Osvaldo Carvalho, the designated hitter. He'll be followed by Fabio Murakami and the second baseman Lucas Rojo. Here in the bottom of the second inning. Gold medal game in men's baseball. Colombia leads it 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Victor Vargas continuing on the mound for Colombia. Carvalho fouls that one away. Oscar Carvalho came in as a pinch hitter in a crucial game for Brazil in a bases loaded situation, hit a 3-run double. That ball hit right up the middle for a base hit, so Carvalho's aboard with a leadoff single. That was the game that clinched a place in the gold medal game for Brazil and set off a celebration. Great story, Osvaldo Carvalho. Doesn't have a professional baseball contract, amateur player. Bricklayer's assistant. He says, I lay bricks in the daytime, pound the bricks in the afternoon, and in the evening I come and train and play baseball. Well, here he is, going to be earning a medal at the Pan American Games and doing his utmost to see that that color of that medal is a gold color for Brazil, leading off the bottom of the second with a leadoff single. Fabio Murakami, the left fielder, looks like he's going to try and sacrifice bunt. Vargas throws the fastball outside. Murakami pulls the bat back. Ramon Ito, the Brazilian manager, making the moves. That ball gets down. It was fielded by Emiliani. Looked like it might have rolled foul, but Emiliani quickly on it, fields it in fair territory and applies the tag. So a sacrifice bunt for Murakami, advancing the runner. One away. Pushes it down the first base line, really close to the foul line. Would have been a gamble for Emiliani to hope that that one would roll foul, so he fields it. Carvalho advances into scoring position for the second baseman, Lucas Rojo. Takes inside, ball one. Colombian bench keeping a very close eye over there in the Colombian dugout. Ramos holding the runner close. That ball tails inside for ball two. Carvalho led the inning off with a single. Advanced on the sacrifice bunt. Rojo trying to plate him. That ball tails inside and the count goes to 3-0. Look at the spikes of Victor Vargas. We saw Felipe Natel knocking away some of the clay from his spikes. It is a cool afternoon, no rain, but the air temperature is low. So some of the infield dirt caking a bit. And that one misses low for ball four. So Lucas Rojo is aboard with a base on balls. So now runners at first and second for Brazil. Gabriel Barros will come to the plate. The Brazilian catcher. One out, the infield playing at double play depth. Vargas pours in a strike. Did that hit him? Yes, the umpire says that Barros was hit by that pitch. So that will advance the runners 90 feet and load the bases. Gabriel Barros hit by pitch. Rojo and Carvalho advance, and the bases are loaded for Brazil. That fastball tailed inside and just grazed Gabriel. No hesitation at all from home plate umpire Edwin Hernandez. Said that hit the batter. And that will bring a visit from Rodrigo Escobar, the Colombian pitching coach. Home plate umpire Edwin Hernandez comes to join the scrum. Says, don't talk too long, guys. I'll give you some time to finish the conversation, but let's keep the game moving. So Brazil with their best opportunities so far early in this gold medal game. Looking for their first run, but they've got the bases loaded with one out. Tough situation for Victor Vargas. He's facing the number 9 hitter, the shortstop, Felipe Mizukosi. Mizukosi takes strike one. Swings through that fastball, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Mizukosi trying to lift one in the air for a sacrifice fly, but couldn't catch up with that fastball. Infield at double play depth. The 0-2. Just fouled that one away. So Mizukosi stays alive. Some of the fans here in Cerrillos. Lots of Brazilian supporters. Bases loaded for Brazil. Vargas sets. Just got the end of the bat on it. Slider away, but Felipe Mizukosi just got the barest bit of lumber on the edge of that ball. Fouls it off and stays alive again. It's funny because it's a big hat. That ball ripped down the line, just foul. If that ball had stayed fair, that would have rattled into the corner and maybe cleared the bases. But it didn't. It was a good 4 or 5 feet foul. Mizukosi hanging tough, behind in the count, 0-2. Breaking ball again fouled away. Good at bat here from Felipe Mizukosi. Outfield playing quite shallow. Mizukosi doesn't have breathtaking power, so the outfield playing about halfway, hoping to be able to catch a dropping line drive. That ball lifted in the air to shallow center. Mariaga will catch. Will the runner tag and try to score? Yes. Here comes the runner. Cut off, and it will be a sacrifice fly. Osvaldo Carvalho tags up and scores on the sacrifice fly from Felipe Mizukosi, and Brazil have tied the game. So Mariaga was playing in, hoping to be able to prevent this from happening, but the speedy Osvaldo Carvalho slides across the plate, and Brazil have tied the game up. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Felipe Mizukosi, and Brazil have tied the game at 1. Back to the top of the order for Ariel Frigo. That ball was lifted in the air to center. Mariaga camping under it. puts it away to retire the side, but Brazil score a run. Leadoff single by Osvaldo Carvalho. Advanced on a wild pitch. Sacrifice bunt from Murakami. And then Felipe Mizukoshi with the sacrifice fly, pushing him across the plate to tie the game. So after two complete in this gold medal men's baseball game in Santiago 2023, we are tied at 1. Two, three, four hitters are due up for Colombia in the top of the third. Carlos Arroyo, Fabian Pertus, and Carlos Martinez due up for Colombia. We are in Cerrillos at the Parque Bicentenario de Cerrillos. It's our venue for baseball, and it will also be the venue for softball. Softball tournament coming up in a couple of days. We're really looking forward to that as well. That'll be excellent. But today, it's the final day of the baseball tournament, the gold medal game between Colombia and Brazil, and we are tied up at 1. One of these two teams will win their first ever Pan American Games baseball championship. 7-inning game. And we are tied up. Who's it going to be? It's anybody's guess. Felipe Natel, the starting pitcher for Brazil, had a tough first inning, gave up 3 consecutive hits, but settled down nicely in the second inning. Let's see what he does here in the third. Carlos Arroyo squares, shows bunt. Curveball drops in for a strike. Arroyo singled and scored the Colombian run in the top of the first. Tops that one foul. Gentle breeze blowing in from right field. So that makes it tough on the left-handed hitters. Anything hit in the air down the right field line gets held up in the breeze. Curveball topped foul. Gabriel Barros, the Brazilian catcher. He's had a nice tournament behind the plate for Brazil. Well, this entire team has had a nice tournament. South American champions, but I don't think anybody on the form chart would have said at the beginning of the tournament that they would see Brazil in the gold medal game. They have never won a medal at the Pan American Games, but today here they are. They will be a Pan American Games baseball medal winner. We just don't know yet what color that medal is going to be. Fans keeping warm here in Cerrillos, suburb of Santiago, beautiful city of about 6 million people. And proving to be an excellent host for the Pan American Games. 19th edition of the Pan American Games. The 0-2. That ball is hammered in the air into the gap, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. So Arroyo 2 for 2. On with a leadoff single. So this is the part of the order that gave Natel trouble in the first inning. In the first inning, Arroyo, Pertus, and Martinez hit consecutive singles, and Arroyo now in the third with a single that will bring up Pertus. Fastball misses low and away. Fabian batting .389 for the tournament. Fastball missing low. Top of the third inning of this 7-inning game. It's the gold medal game in men's baseball. Curveball fouled off. And we'll take the count to 2-1. Looping curveball drops in for strike 2. Bartos has a long look back and a short conversation with home plate umpire Edwin Hernandez. Usually the polite question to ask when you're a batter is, where was that umpire? Swings through that one, and Bartos goes down on strikes. Big strikeout for Felipe Natal to the delight of the Brazilian supporters. So Bartos is down on strikes. High fastball rings him up. Couldn't catch up with this one. I think he was looking curveball, but Natal blew him away with the fastball, and there's one out. That ball's in the dirt, and it gets away from Barros. So the runner will advance. Carlos Arroyo down to second base on the wild pitch. So now a runner in scoring position for Carlos Martinez. Martinez singled in the first inning. Drove in the run of Arroyo. Let's see if he can duplicate that feat here in the third inning. Arroyo with good speed at second base for Colombia. Curveball hammered by Martinez down the left field line. Will it stay fair? No, just foul. Had to wait for a moment for the call. Looked like for a moment it might have gone out of the yard inside the foul pole, but it just drifted foul. Martinez really put a ride on that one. See some of the Chilean women's softball team here today. They'll be taking the field coming up in the softball tournament. That ball in the dirt blocked by Barros. That keeps the runner at second base. Important block there from Gabriel Barros. Look at the Colombian flag over the heart of Carlos Martinez. Looping curveball drops in for a strike. It's been Natel's most effective pitch. Rojo holding the runner on. The 2-2. That ball is lifted in the air, playable. A long run. Orlando coming in, and Rojo ultimately the second baseman taking charge and makes the out. That one was drifting into the Bermuda Triangle between the right fielder, the center fielder, and the second baseman, but Lucas Rojo stays with it. Puts it away. Communication between the fielders so important. Somebody needs to take charge and call that I've got it. The other players, of course, need to hear that. Otherwise, collisions happen. Dilson Herrera struck out in his first at-bat. Curveball lifted in the air. That could drop. Yes, it falls into the gap. That will score a run. Arroyo trots in to score, and Dilson Herrera with an RBI. And Colombia are back in the lead. So Carlos Arroyo, a scoring machine for Colombia, comes across the plate for the second time and pushes Colombia into the lead. Dilson Herrera hit that one into the gap. No play for Orlando or Frigo. Drops in and Arroyo scores easily. That will bring Derwin Pomares to the plate. He walked in his first plate appearance. That ball bounces away from Barros, and Herrera will advance. So Gabriel Barros has been chasing a lot of pitches in the dirt behind the plate in this third inning. Lucas Rojo and Dilson Herrera exchanging pleasantries there at second base. Great to see the sporting spirit. This game really represents a cherry on top of the cake for both teams. Fastball misses low. The best that Colombia has ever done in a Pan American Games in baseball is a bronze medal. Brazil has never won a medal in baseball at the Pan American Games. So both teams doing something that they've never done before. Curveball, topped foul. Pomares reacts in a little bit of anger. That was a pitch that he thought he could handle. One run across here in the top of the third for Colombia. 2 away. Still have a runner in scoring position. We are in Chile, of course. Santiago. Curveball, top foul. Baseball, not so much a mainstream sport in Chile. Baseball has been played in Chile for over 100 years. It was brought here by foreign mining workers from Japan and North America. But they have been excellent hosts of this tournament. The 2-2. Just misses the outside corner. It was a very good pitch. But Edwin Hernandez says that was just outside. And the replay confirms that. So the count goes full. First base is open. So Felipe Natel doesn't really just have to throw a batting practice fastball in here. He's got some options. Time called by Barros. Dilson Herrera. Telling Derwin Pomares, just stay calm. Does he go? No, he holds up, and that will be ball 4. So Pomares is on with a 2-out walk. Runners at first and second now, 2 away. That brings Leandro Emiliani to the plate. Leandro struck out in his first at-bat. Ramon Ito keeping a very close eye on Felipe Natel. Got some good pitchers down there in the bullpen to use, but really wants Felipe to get him into the 5th inning, hopefully. Leandro batting 308 for the tournament. Swings through that one. That's going to get away from Barros, and the runners are going to advance. So now runners at second and third, and takes off the force as well. So that makes things a little bit tougher for Brazil. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Emiliani. 1 run already across here in the top of the third for Colombia. And now a single could score 2. Umpires just having a word with the dugouts. Emotions running high as you would expect in a gold medal game. Curveball drops in for a strike. Love the reaction from Derwin Pomars at second base. He said that one was sitting right there to hit. Curveball misses just low. Gabriel Barros has had a pretty adventurous inning here in the top of the third. There have been a lot of balls in the dirt. A couple have gotten away from him. Runners advance, bullpen active now for Brazil. That one is topped just foul. Daniel Misaki warming up in the Brazilian bullpen. Pomars the runner at second base. Herrera at third base for Colombia. 2-2, 2 out, top of the third. That ball misses and that gets away from Barros. The runner's got to try to score. Here's the play at the plate and he is caught. So Brazil with a nice defensive play. Felipe Natel fielding his position well. Gabriel Barros scrambled and quickly retrieved the ball. Flipped it to Natel, who applied the tag on Herrera for the third out. So Colombia trying some aggressive base running to steal a run. Let's take a look at the replay. Gets away from Barros. Herrera breaks. Perfect backhanded throw and a sliding tag applied by Felipe Natel. Here's another look. Herrera diving for the plate. And Natel diving to intercept him. Applies the tag. Home plate umpire Hernandez rings him up to retire the side. But there is 1 run across for Colombia. And that will give them a 2-1 lead as we head for the bottom of the third in the gold medal game. The number 2, 3, and 4 hitters up for Brazil here in the bottom of the third. Pedro Okuda had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Fouls that away. Well, how big is that defensive play to end the top of the third going to be in this gold medal game? Wilson Herrera trying to score on the passed ball, but then Barros to Natal to gun him down at the plate. Looks like runs are going to be pretty precious in this gold medal game, and that was definitely a run-saving play. Carlos Martinez. And that ball is going to rattle down in the corner. A fair ball for Okuda makes the turn, and he will go into second with a leadoff double. Pedro Cuda with a bullet down the first base line. First base umpire Manuel Perez right on the line to make the call. He was quite clear on his call, said it was a fair ball. Colombian team not so sure, so we may have a video appeal here. So the play is in fact under review. Colombia contesting the decision of a fair ball. Colombian players saying to Pedro Cuda, no hard feelings. We think that was a foul ball, though. We need another look. Gustavo Pena is the video replay official today. Now remember, the ball has to get over the base in fair territory. So it's not whether it's the line behind the base in fair territory. It's in the judgment of the umpire. Did it go over first base in fair territory? So the play is confirmed. It is a fair ball. First base umpire Perez was right on the line to make that call. So the play is confirmed. So it's Okuda on second base with the leadoff double. The infield in now with nobody out, expecting a sacrifice bunt. Victor Coutinho, though, maybe swinging away in this situation, and he is. Second baseman Jose Ramos deep in the hole at second base, left side of the infield playing tight. That ball hit on the ground down the first base line, but that one will go just foul. It's been busy for Leandro Emiliani down there at first base. We're in the bottom of the third inning, the gold medal game in men's baseball. Colombia holding a narrow 2-1 lead over Brazil. But Brazil threatening here in the bottom of the third. Fastball inside. Coutinho grounded out in his first at-bat. He's batting .368 for the tournament. He's a dangerous hitter. Tops that one foul. Right side of the infield playing him to pull. The 1-2. Once again, topped foul. Okuda with pretty good speed. The base runner at second base for Brazil. Youngster with a bunny here at the ballpark in Sitios. That ball hit hard and straight at Jose Ramos. On to first, the runner will advance. So Victor Coutinho again grounding out 4-3. Okuda down to third base now with one out, so a sacrifice fly could score him and tie the game. Paulo Orlando did hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning. Infield playing in, trying to cut down the run. Takes that one high. ground ball at the infield. They will try to come down to the plate to cut down the run. That one ties up Orlando. He fouls it off the fists. Base umpire Gregory Jimenez. Martinez drops the sign. Vargas sets. Swings through that high fastball. Orlando about to bash the bat in some frustration. Knew he should have laid off that one. Did not really guess right at all on that one. Fooled badly. Vargas ahead 1-2 now. Swing and a miss, and Orlando goes down on strikes. And there are 2 away in the bottom of the third. Disappointment for Paulo Orlando. Could not get bat on ball to advance the runner and score, tie the game. Little cut fastball, the outside part of the plate. Very good pitch there from Victor Vargas. And there are 2 away, so no sacrifice fly now. Osvaldo Carvalho, the designated hitter. Hits that one hard on the ground in the hole to Ramos at second base, on to first to retire the side. So the leadoff double by Pedro Cuda is left stranded. Nice pitching by Victor Vargas. 1 hit in the inning, but no runs for Brazil. 1 runner left on base, no errors. Nice play routine for Jose Ramos to retire the side. Victor Vargas leaves the leadoff double stranded. We've got 3 innings complete in this 7-inning men's gold medal game in the Pan American Games baseball tournament. Colombia lead it 2-1. Bottom third of the order are due up for Colombia in the top of the 4th. And we see a pitching change being made for Brazil. Emiliani, Mariaga, and Ramos, the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Colombia. So Felipe Natel's day is done as the starting pitcher for Brazil. It is Daniel Misaki now on the mound for Brazil. So the first move made by Romonito will bring Daniel Misaki onto the mound in relief of Felipe Natel. He's facing Leandro Emiliani, who struck out in his first at-bat. Fastball missing just inside. Emiliani was at the plate when Herrera was gunned down trying to come home on a passed ball. But Natal applying the tag to force him out. So Emiliani comes back to lead off this inning. Grounds that ball into the hole and through for a base hit. Leadoff runner aboard for Colombia. Lucas Rojo could not track that one down. Bounces into the outfield. Leadoff single for Colombia. Let's have another look. Well out of the reach of Lucas. So Colombia with the leadoff runner aboard. Jesus Mariaga shows sacrifice bunt. They throw down, nearly catching Emiliani. You can see he had to dive back in safely. It'll get the uniform dirty. Safely back in just in time. It was a nice throw by Barros and a heads-up play. So Mariaga showing sacrifice bunt on the first pitch. Let's see what happens on this pitch. Gabriel Barros surveying things from behind the plate. Misaki sets. That one fouled away. Mariaga batting 143 for the tournament. Colombia with a narrow one-run lead. This is a situation where you would think about sacrifice bunt. Okuda playing behind the bag at third base, so they're expecting him to swing away. And he does. That ball lifted foul down the right field line and out of play. See the breeze for the first time in the tournament really coming from the left field side. Wind direction, the prevailing breeze has been blowing in towards home plate, but now the flags have moved around a little bit, so a bit of a change here. Fastball missing just outside. That evens the count 2-2. That one's in the dirt. That's going to go all the way to the backstop, so the runner will advance on the wild pitch. Leandro Emiliani now down in scoring position with nobody out. So Colombia looking to add to their lead here. Ramon Ito looks on. He's made his move. He's brought the relief pitcher in. Daniel Misaki now in some trouble. Mariaga hits that ball sharply, and it will go into right field. That will score the run. Emiliani scores. Jesus Mariaga with the RBI. Leandro Emiliani comes around to score, and Colombia take a 2-run lead. Opposite field RBI single for the center fielder, Jesus Mariaga. Daniel Misaki giving up the single. Goes the opposite way, right down the first base line. Gets by Coutinho. Emiliani scores easily. And Colombia go into a 3-1 lead. Mariaga all the way around to second. One bunted foul by Jose Ramos. Colombia coming into this game on a 3-game winning streak. They were 0-2 in the opening round. Since then, 3 consecutive wins over Venezuela, Mexico, and Panama. That one's going to get away, and that's going to advance the runner down to third base. So the woes are continuing for Brazil. Mariaga trots down to third base on the wild pitch. Real trouble now for the Brazilians. Gabriel Barros comes out from behind the plate. Say to the infielders, calm down, guys. That tailing fastball gets away from Barros. And Mariaga strolls down to third base. He's only 90 feet away from scoring. There is nobody out here in the top of the fourth. That ball hit hard for a base hit, and that's going to score another run for Colombia. RBI single for Jose Ramos. Jesus Mariaga comes in to score. So Colombia rampaging here in the top of the fourth. Ramon Ito. The pained expression in the Brazilian dugout. Jose Ramos, the number 9 hitter. He knows that one's through the infield. That's going to score Mariaga. Colombia now with a 4-1 lead, and that will bring a conference on the Brazilian mound. Daniel Misaki on in relief in this inning. Has given up 3 consecutive hits. Pitching coach Jose Calera comes out to have a word as we've got some action now in the Brazilian bullpen. Andre Rienzo beginning to warm up. Former major leaguer. Fastball in there for a strike. Back to the top of the order now for Francisco Acuna. He's 0 for 2. Popped out and grounded out. Misaki checking the runner at first. Ramos sliding back in safely. That ball hit the opposite way. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Trigo comes up with it in right field. Ramos comes all the way around to third base, and Colombia with 4 consecutive hits here in the top of the fourth. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Colombia. 2 runs across already in the top of the fourth inning. Colombia now with a 4-1 lead and a chance to break this game open, and that is going to be all for Daniel Misaki. Brazilian manager Ramon Ito coming to the mound. And look at this. The 35-year-old veteran, Andre Rienzo. Major League Baseball experience. He pitched for the Chicago White Sox and the Miami Marlins in Major League Baseball. He appeared in the game yesterday for Brazil, playing in right field, but the veteran is being brought into the game to try and stem the flow of runs for Colombia. Was the first Brazilian-born pitcher to ever start and win a game in Major League Baseball level. The most experienced player by far in this Brazilian team. Really at the end of his playing career, but what a moment for Andre to appear in a gold medal game. Disappointment for Daniel Misaki. Just couldn't get it done today. He gave up 4 consecutive hits, so he gives way to Andre Rienzo. Runners at the corners. Top of the fourth inning, nobody out for Colombia. They've already scored 2 in this fourth inning. Looking for more. Oh, this sport can break your heart sometimes. Daniel Misaki, despondent. Carlos Arroyo, 2 for 2 today. He's scored 2 runs as well. He's having a terrific gold medal game, batting .524 for the tournament. One of the real tournament stars in Santiago 2023. Fouls that fastball back. Acuna at first. Arroyo, the designated hitter. Fastball missing high. 7-inning games, remember, in the Pan American Games baseball tournament. We are in the top of the fourth. Slider misses high. The count goes to 3-1. Ramos, the runner at third. That ball is lifted in the air. This could score a run. Frigo underneath it. Ramos will tag, and he will score. Sacrifice fly for Carlos Arroyo and an RBI. Colombia with their third run of the inning, and that pushes their lead to 5-1. Routine catch for Frigo out there in right field, but the fleet Jose Ramos tags and scores easily on the sacrifice fly. Snap throw over from Rienzo. Acuna back in plenty of time. Time called by the home plate umpire, Hernandez. So now there's one out, runner on first base for Fabian Pertus. Fabian has singled and struck out in his 2 appearances today. Fastball misses low and away for ball 1. Fabian batting .368 for the tournament. Infield playing him slightly to pull. Curveball swung on and missed. Time called. Both of these teams have never won a Pan American Games gold medal in baseball. Right now, Colombia's got the advantage. They've got a 4-run lead in the top of the fourth. Breaking ball low and away, fouled off. Francisco Acuna, the base runner at first base for Colombia. The next Pan American Games will be held in Colombia, in Barranquilla, great baseball city. Runner goes. It's in the hole, and that will be in for a base hit. Pertus singles. Acuna comes all the way around to third. So the hit parade continues for Colombia here in the top of the fourth inning. Acuna was running on the pitch, and Pertus sharply singles into left field, allowing Acuna to come all the way around to third on the play. Great speed from Acuna. Runners on the corners now, 1 out. 3 runs already across for Colombia here in the top of the fourth. They're enjoying a 5-1 lead. Carlos Martinez has singled and flown out as we see more action in the Brazilian bullpen. Tailing fastball catches the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Colombia threatening to break this game open here in the top of the fourth. Curveball gets away from Rienzo, up and out of the zone. Evens the count, 1-1. That ball hit sharply, but right at the second baseman, on to the short for one, on to first for a double play. Yes, the out is recorded. Coutinho just able to stay on the bag. Rojo to Mizukoshi to Coutinho for an inning-ending double play. Huge double play there for Brazil to end the inning and retire this side, but the damage is done. 3 runs across on 5 hits, and Colombia lead it 5-1 in the gold medal game in men's baseball. Six, 7, 8 hitters due up for Brazil. In the bottom of the fourth, they trail it 5-1. Murakami, Rojo, and Barros are due up for Brazil. Starting pitcher Victor Vargas is carrying on here for Colombia. His teammates have staked him now to a 4-run lead. Murakami had a sacrifice bunt in the second inning. That set up the Brazilian run. Takes a strike. As we see some of the softball players here in the ballpark in Cerrillos, their tournament will be getting underway in a couple of days. That ball's hit on the ground and fair down the third base line. That's going to get into the corner for extra bases. Murakami rounds first, and he jogs into second base easily with a leadoff double. So the leadoff runner in scoring position for Brazil. Just the 4th hit given up by Vargas. Christian Madero seemed in no doubt, called this one immediately. And that one landing inside the foul line. So definitely a fair ball, no doubt about that. Lucas Rojo takes strike 1. Lucas walked in the second inning. Batting .286 for the tournament. That ball hit on the ground. Easy play for Acuna. Onto Emiliani for the first out. So it's 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Rojo grounds out to short. That will bring the catcher Gabriel Barros to the plate. Murakami did not advance on the ground ball. He's still there at second base. Vargas gets the call on the outside corner for strike 1. Gabriel was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Cut fastball fouled away. Infield shaded slightly to pull. Emiliani well off the bag down there, the first base side. Swing and a miss. And he is out on strikes. Gabriel Barros retired as a strikeout. Victor Vargas cruising along here on the mound for Colombia. And there are two away in the bottom of the fourth for Brazil. Good curveball down low. Barros chases it into the dirt. Martinez kind of waves at him, misses the tag, just throws it down to first to complete the strikeout. Felipe Mizukosi had a sacrifice fly. So he has driven in the only run today for Brazil. Batting .231, the number 9 hitter, shortstop. That ball is lifted in the air, but out of play. And there we see the Peruvian women's softball team checking out the diamond here at the Parque de Béisbol, a softball. This will also be the softball venue. That one is lifted foul and out of play. Really looking forward to that softball tournament. Some fantastic teams here in Santiago. The U.S. women's team, the Canadian women's team, among the favorites. It'll be a great tournament. We'll have that action for you later next week, but today the focus is on baseball. It's the gold medal game. Colombia leading Brazil 5-1. That one gets away from Martinez, goes to the backstop. And Murakami will advance to third base on the passed ball. So Murakami is 90 feet away. Two out. And the count 2-2 to number 9 hitter, Felipe Mizukosi. Victor Vargas trying to get out of the inning. Swing and just topped foul. Felipe helpfully retrieving that ball for home plate umpire Hernandez. Just got a piece of it. Thought for a moment that Vargas had pulled off the strikeout, but Mizukosi just got a piece of that one to hang in. 2-2. Again, just topped foul. You could see the frustration from Vargas. He thought he got him that time too. So how did he get a bat on that one? The 2-2. In the dirt. Mizukosi holds off, and the count goes full. So a really scrappy at bat here for Felipe Mizukosi. He's fouled off 4 pitches. Now he's run the count full. Brazil need to get their hitting shoes on. They're trailing by 4. And that one is taken inside. Vargas frustrated. You don't want to walk the number 9 hitter when you've got a 4-run lead in a ball game, but that's what happens. So Mizukosi is aboard with a 2-out walk, and now runners at the corners for the leadoff hitter, Ariel Frigo. And that will bring a visit from Colombian pitching coach Rodrigo Escobar. A little pat on the hip, little pep talk. Edwin Hernandez says, "You going to make a pitching change, guys, or are you just going to chat?" Vargas will remain in the contest. Said earlier that I thought Jose Mosquera would be looking to try for Vargas to maybe get him into the 5th inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Ariel Frigo takes strike 1. Ariel has had a single and a fly out in his 2 at-bats. Batting 118 for the tournament, but that's not really representative of his hitting capability. He can handle the bat. Takes that cut fastball for a strike. And Vargas is quickly ahead 0-2. Called strike 3. Curveball drops in there for a called strike 3. Curveball drops in there for a We are in Cerrillo, Santiago 2023. It is the gold medal game in men's baseball. Colombia versus Brazil. Colombia enjoying a 5-1 lead. See the crowd here, a lot of Brazilian supporters, a number of Colombian supporters enjoying the activities here in Cerrillos. Having fun at the ballpark, that's what it's all about. Due up for Colombia, Herrera, Palmares, and Emiliani. The 5, 6, 7 hitters. Dilson Herrera takes a breaking ball low from Rienzo, who carries on here on the mound for Brazil. Herrera struck out in the first, singled in the third. Breaking ball catches the outside part of the plate. As Herrera nods, yep, that was a good pitch. Herrera singled in the third, got all the way down to third base, and then on a ball that squirted away from Barros, tried to score, but was gunned down at the plate by a nice play from Natal and Barros. So he's had some adventure on the base paths today, Dilson Herrera. 7-inning game, remember? Curveball hammered, but foul. We've seen some pretty amazing comebacks in this baseball tournament, but we are getting late in the game. 4-run deficit for Brazil to make up, so it's really imperative here that they close the door and don't allow Colombia to score anymore. Looping curveball that misses inside. Trying to get some hype going here on the Colombian bench. Infield playing just slightly to pull. Looping ball, and that is singled through the left side for a leadoff single for Dilson Herrera. So Herrera is 2 for 3. And that brings Derwin Pomares to the plate. He has walked twice today. Fastball misses up and in. Infield playing Pomare to pull. Curveball drops in on the outside corner for a called strike. Pomare betting 200 for the tournament. Fastball tails inside. That ball is lifted in the air and it's into the gap and it's going to go all the way to the wall for extra bases. Dilson Herrera scampers around to score. Derwin Pomare with a booming double. Colombia add to their lead. Herrera scores. Colombia lead at 6-1. To the delight of the Colombian fans, Derwin Pomare going opposite way into the gap. That goes all the way to the wall. Ariel Frigo gives chase. Dilson Herrera off to the races and he scores easily. Curveball in for a strike. Leandro Emiliani, he's 1 for 2 today. He struck out and it's singled. Colombia in the gold medal game taking control now, leading at 6-1. Fastball in for a strike. So that run deficit mountain getting ever higher for Brazil, looking like the Andes Mountains here on the outskirts of Santiago. Could hear the effort from Rienzo. He's at the end of his playing career. It's been a really stellar playing career for Andre Rienzo. He's pitched in the major leagues, as we said, for the Chicago White Sox and for the Miami Marlins. He's also played professional baseball in Mexico. Well-traveled and well-liked veteran player. Doing it one more time for his country here in this gold medal game. Curveball drops in. Nobody out. Pomare, the runner in scoring position for Colombia. The 0-2. Emiliani takes outside. Breaking ball, did he go? Yes, he is rung up on strikes. Emiliani disappointed in the judgment. Thought he held up. But the umpiring crew said, no, you went around. We'll look at the replay. Yes, that's a very good call, actually. Could not hold up his swing, and he goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning for Colombia. That brings Jesus Mariaga to the plate. Fastball tails inside for ball 1. Mariaga struck out looking in the second inning and hit a booming double and had an RBI in the 4th inning. Curveball takes low. Felipe Mizukosi at short, looking on. Home plate umpire having a word with the Colombian dugout. You don't want to get into any silly arguments here. If you're Colombia, you're up 5. Rienzo looks the runner back, steps off. Action down in the Brazilian bullpen. Oscar Nakaoshi getting warm. We're pretty sure that Colombia is going to be making a pitching change as well. We saw the handshake as Victor Vargas came off in the previous inning. We don't know yet who's going to come in to pitch for Colombia, but for now, it's Rienzo versus Mariaga. Curveball drops in for a strike. A little bouncing hop from Mariaga, but that was a very good pitch. Takes inside. That runs the count to 3-1. First base is open. And does he go? No. So that will be a base on balls for Jesus Mariaga. Able to just hold up on his swing. Take a look at the replay. Yeah, that was close, but he just held up. So Mariaga aboard with the base on balls. Derwin Pomari at second base. That brings Jose Ramos to the plate. He singled in the 4th inning, flew out in the 2nd inning. Big strike there. Looping breaking ball sent Jose Ramos spinning as he swung through it. Ramos also scored a run. Curveball drops in, but low. Barros held that one for a long time, hoping for the called strike. It's the gold medal game. Colombia leading Brazil 6-1. 7-inning contest, remember? Fastball missing just low. At the knees. Rienzo was looking for the call, didn't get it. Swings through that breaking ball. That evens the count 2-2. Andre Rienzo in relief for Brazil. Picking up from Daniel Misaki, who really had a battle out there in relief for Brazil. Colombia really roughed him up. Discussion in the Colombian dugout. They're enjoying a 5-run lead. That ball is hit sharply to second base, on to short for 1, on to first, in time for the double play. So Ramos hits into the 4-6-3 double play. Rienzo induces the double play ball to retire the side, but 1 run more across for Colombia. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left on base. Rienzo gets the double play ball to end the inning and keep Brazil in touch. Nice backhanded stab by Rojo. Flips it to Mizukosi, who turns it for the double play to retire the side. 1 run across for Colombia. They increase their lead to 6-1. Brazil coming to bat in the bottom of the 5th in the men's gold medal game at Santiago 2023.
Baseball pitching for Team Colombia, number 50. Cambio en el equipo de Colombia. El juego lanzador con el número 50.
Carlos Diaz now in relief for Colombia. Picking up starting pitcher Victor Vargas. Victor Vargas with a fantastic start appearance today for Colombia. Gets his team into the fifth inning with a 5-run lead. Carlos Diaz now in relief, and he'll be facing the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Brazilian lineup: Okuda, Coutinho, and Orlando. Misses outside with a fastball for ball 1. Okuda has had a sacrifice bunt and a double today. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Colombia trying to win their first ever gold medal in baseball at the Pan American Games. They've only won 1 medal in the baseball competition. That was way back in 1971. Fastball painting the outside corner. Okuda leans back. Didn't like the call, but it's a called strike. 1971, the Pan American Games were in Cali, Colombia. So Colombia was the home team, and they won their only baseball medal there. Pan American Games will be returning to Colombia in 2027, going to Barranquilla. That announcement confirmed this week in Santiago. But Colombia on the cusp of winning their first ever gold medal in baseball as Diaz retires Okuda on a strikeout. Okuda caught looking. 1 down for Brazil in the bottom of the 5th. Carlos Diaz freezing Okuda on the inside part of the plate. Could not pull the trigger, and he is rung up. That brings Victor Coutinho to the plate. 0 for 2 today, but batting .350 for the tournament. He's grounded out twice to second base. So Diaz going right after these hitters. Brazil looking for answers, but they're not finding any. That ball fouled away. And Diaz quickly ahead, 0-2. Some disappointment on the faces in the Brazilian dugout, but they've done something that no Brazilian baseball team has ever done. They're going to come away from the Pan American Games with a baseball medal. Swings through that one. Breaking ball, strike 3. And 2 strikeouts consecutively for Carlos Diaz, doing a great job here in relief for Colombia, and there are 2 down. So this Brazilian baseball team making history regardless of the result. But Diaz ringing up Coutinho. Martinez applying the tag to complete the strikeout. And that brings up Paulo Orlando. He has flied out and struck out in his 2 plate appearances today. That ball seemed to catch in the webbing of catcher Martinez, just adjusting his glove. Some cautious smiles now creeping onto the expressions of the Colombian coaching. Infield playing deep as Diaz blows back a fastball past Orlando. Colombia reaching the point in the game where they can start counting the outs that remain. No swing. Emiliani says, okay, yep, I agree. Oh my goodness. trying to pick up the spirits of the Brazilian supporters. They've had a wonderful fairy tale ride in this baseball tournament, but looking tough for them today. That ball lifted in the air. Is it going to stay in play? Emiliani has room and puts it away to retire the side. So Orlando fouls out to Emiliani for a 1-2-3 inning. Very tidy relief pitching by Carlos Diaz in relief for Colombia. Colombia now on the cusp of winning their first ever gold medal in baseball. We head for the top of the 6th inning. Colombia enjoying a 6-1 lead over Brazil. Top of the order due up for Colombia in the top of the 6th. Cunha, Arroyo, and Bertus. Pitching change for Brazil. Oscar Nakaoshi now into pitch for Brazil. The 4th pitcher of the day for Brazil, their manager Ramonito. Looks like an uphill battle for Brazil. Game's not over yet, of course, but we want to really just pay respect to the Brazilian baseball program. This is a team composed of a few professional players, but a lot of amateur players. And they have had an absolutely fantastic tournament here in Cerrios at the Pan American Games. First pitch from Nakaoshi. A lot of baseball in Brazil. The game came to Brazil mainly with Japanese immigrants, and you can still feel that influence in Brazilian baseball to this day. Francisco Acuna, 1 for 3. Colombian dugout. Staying in the moment. It's pretty tempting to begin a celebration, but there's still 2 innings to play. The job is not done yet. Acuna takes strike 1 at the knees. The count goes to 3-1. This Colombian team really flipped the switch early in the tournament. They had 2 close losses their opening round. Lost 4-3 to Colombia, and they lost 8-3 to this Brazilian team. And then after that, a 6-2 win over Venezuela, a 10-2 win over Mexico, 2-1 win over Panama, and now in the gold medal game leading 6-1 and on the verge of clinching their first ever gold medal at the Pan American Games. Acuna down the line for extra bases. So he's on with a leadoff double. Second hit of the game, Francisco Acuna giving thanks. Change some of the paraphernalia there for Acuna. Put that one right down the line. Fair ball called immediately by third base umpire Jimenez. So nobody out here in the top of the 6th, and there's a runner in scoring position for Carlos Arroyo. Tops that one foul. Carlos has had a great day at the plate. 2 singles and a sacrifice fly. Batting .524 for the tournament. One of the best players in the tournament for me. Acuna at second base. Nakoshi sets. And this is just outside with a fastball. Pitcher's warming in the bullpen. It is a cool afternoon in Santiago. Breeze is quite gentle today. That ball topped straight back to the pitcher. Looks the runner back at second base. High throw. Pulls the first baseman off the bag, but Victor Coutinho doing a nice job to pull that one down and keep his composure. Step on the base to retire the runner. Nakoshi looks the runner back. Throws it on to first, but Victor Coutinho had to stretch and nab that one. Gets the force, and Fabian Pertuz comes in to bat for Colombia. Fabian, 2 for 3, 2 singles and a strikeout. Rips that one down the left field side, and that will go into the left field for a base hit. Acuna making the turn, held up. Sharp single for Fabian Pertuz. He's 3 for 4 today. That ball was hit so hard at Murakami. Even the speed of Acuna, that wasn't going to be enough to score him. That ball was on Murakami very quickly. So now runners at the corners for Colombia. 1 out. And the cleanup hitter, the catcher, Carlos Martinez at the plate. 1 for 3 today. Had a single and an RBI in the first inning to get it going for Colombia. And he has flied out to second and hit into a double play. Takes that breaking ball in for a strike. Has a look back at the umpire. Says, I hope you give us that one. Colombia with a 5-run lead. Looking for a little extra insurance here in the top of the 6th. Martinez watches that one all the way into the catcher's mitt of Gabriel Barros. Brazil, their supporters have been spectacular throughout the entire tournament. Even down 5 runs, trying to get their team going. That's a fair ball. That's going to score a run. Acuna in to score. Carlos Martinez with another RBI. Pertuz comes all the way to third on the play. And Colombia extend their lead. Acuna scores. Martinez goes all the way around to second. And it's another run across for Colombia. Carlos Martinez, right down the line, into the corner. Acuna has time to pick up the bat before he steps on the plate. He scores easily. Bring a mound discussion and a pitching change for Brazil. Gabriel Barbosa now into pitch. This game now getting a bit away from the Brazilians. A terrific tournament, but it's not looking very likely for them today. Two RBIs then for Carlos Martinez today. Gabriel Barbosa, the relief pitcher for Brazil, leads his warm-up pitches. Colombia now with a 7-1 lead. We're in the top of the 6th inning of this 7-inning game. It is the gold medal game. We are in Cerrillos, suburb of Santiago. 19th edition of the Pan American Games. The baseball event got the Pan American Games going. The baseball competition actually started 2 days before the opening ceremonies. Opening game of the baseball tournament saw Chile playing Mexico, and there we see some of the Mexican officials in the stands. Now 10 days later, this tournament is winding up with the gold medal game, and Colombia looking to mine some Pan American gold here in Chile. Infield playing in at the edge of the dirt, trying to cut down the run. Gabriel Barbosa now in relief. Facing Dilson Herrera, swings through that cut fastball for a strike. As the chopper goes overhead here in Cerrillos. Herrera has struck out and has had 2 singles today. He's 2 for 3. You see the helicopter off into the distance. Herrera fouls that one off. Gabriel Barbosa. Full credit to this Colombian team. In this gold medal game, they've delivered a gold medal performance today. That ball is hit through the drawn-in infield, and that's going to go into left field and score another run. Pertuz comes in to score. The 8th run for Colombia. Now you can finally see that the Colombian bench are daring to smile. Ramonito, no answers today. The Colombian assault with the bats continuing. Dilson Herrera with a sharp single through a drawn-in infield RBI. And the 8th run across for Colombia. Fabian Pertuz jogs in. Derwin Pomare to the plate. Breaks his bat onto short. Second for 1. On to first for a double play to retire the side. So Pomare grounds into a double play to end the inning for Brazil, but 2 more runs across for Colombia. Brazil have a long, long road back. Nice job by Gabriel Barbosa to induce the double play ball to end the inning. But 4 hits in the inning for Colombia, 2 runs scored. Colombia can sense that victory's in their grasp. We head for the bottom of the 6th in this 7th inning game. Colombia with an 8-1 lead over Brazil. Follow Murakami and Rojo. Due up for Brazil. Carlos Diaz, the relief pitcher for Colombia, carrying on here in the bottom of the 6th. 7-inning game, so Colombia are just 6 outs away from being able to call themselves Pan American Games baseball champions. Brazil will do everything they can to battle back, but boy, oh boy, this is a steep climb that they've got. They're down 7 runs. Carlos Diaz had a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. Now facing Carvalho, who is 1 for 3 today. rips that one foul. Osvaldo has scored the only run today for Brazil. He singled in the second inning and came around to score on the sacrifice fly by Miskoshi. Takes that fastball up and in. Curveball misses just outside. I'll check to see if he swung, but he did not. Take a look at the replay. Did he check his swing? Oh, yes, he certainly did. Takes that ball inside. Did it hit him? Don't think so. Home plate umpire doesn't make any decision there, so count goes full. Carvalho doing everything he can to get on base, fouls that one away. Tied him up. Which baseball do we like? I think I'll have that one, sir. Thank you. Bottom of the sixth inning, infield playing the edge of the outfield grass. That ball topped back to Diaz, underhands it, and there's one away. Carvalho was retired. One away in the bottom of the sixth for Colombia. That will bring Fabio Murakami to the plate. 5 outs to go for Colombia. Now we're going to see a pitching change. Carlos Diaz did a fantastic job in relief for Colombia. 4 batters faced, and he retired them all. He's going to give away to a right-handed pitcher, but Carlos Diaz making his contribution to the Colombian cause. They go on to win the game and win the gold medal. His cameo appearance today will be a very valuable piece of the puzzle for Colombia. Appears to be Jorge Martinez, but we'll just wait for confirmation of the pitching change. Ramon Ito. Wondering what moves he can make, but there's really not much you can do when you're down 7 runs. That is in fact Jorge Martinez in pitch. Carlos Diaz. 4 batters up, 4 batters down, but Colombian manager Mosquera saying, well, we want a righty-righty matchup, so we'll get Carlos out and we'll get Jorge in. One out in the bottom of the sixth. Gold medal game. Colombia leading at 8-1. Fabio Murakami. A good day with the bat. Laid down a sacrifice bunt to set up the run in the second inning, and he hit a double in the fourth. Takes that fastball inside and up. Fastball in there for a strike from Martinez. Fastball missing low. This is a situation with a 7-run lead. I'm sure the instruction from the manager when he took the ball was just throw strikes. But That one up and out of the zone. Martinez falls behind 3-1. The Brazilian supporters a little despondent. You can understand their team's down 7 runs, but the Brazilian fans have been fantastic in Cerrillos. Murakami swings through strike 2. Colombian coaches looking at their options. Some of the fans just trying to stay warm here in Cerrillos. It's a cool afternoon. Martinez walks the batter. It's not what you want to do when you come in the bullpen and your counterpart has been doing so well. You don't want to walk the guy. So Murakami's aboard with a walk. And that will bring Lucas Rojo to the plate. He has walked and grounded out in his 2 plate appearances today. Jorge Martinez. That's a better pitch from Jorge. Fastball taken for strike 1. Rojo, the number 7 hitter. Fouls that one off, and Martinez ahead quickly, 0-2. Curveball misses outside. Rojo lays off. The 1-2. Curveball hammered, but foul. Third base umpire Jimenez making the call. The hanging curveball there from Martinez ahead in the count. You wonder if he's going to go back to the fastball. Fastball up, but out of the zone, and that evens the count 2-2. Called strike 3. Lucas Rojo looks back at the home plate umpire, but he has to walk back to the dugout. He is rung up on strikes. Jorge Martinez getting the call. Just caught the inside part of the plate and just at the top of the strike zone. Rojo thought it was a ball, but home plate umpire Edwin Hernandez says that's strike 3, and there are 2 away. Fastball outside to the number 8 hitter, Gabriel Barros. Gabriel was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning and struck out in the 4th. Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. Colombia 4 outs away from a gold medal. Martinez sets. That ball hit on the ground. 1 hop for Pertuz, but that throw is wild and the runner is safe. Barros reaches on an error. So Fabian Pertuz with a chance to end the inning, but a bad throw lets the inning stay alive for Brazil. Uncharacteristic error from Pertuz. Broken bat, tough hop, but he had it in plenty of time to make a good throw and easily retire the runner, but it was a bad throw. So that's E5. 2 runners aboard now for Brazil. As Felipe Mizukosi comes to the plate. Fabian will be disappointed in that throw. Fastball misses high. Mizukosi, the number 9 hitter, has had a sacrifice fly and a walk in his 2 at-bats today. Jorge Martinez in relief for Colombia, misses low. Count goes to 3-0. So Colombia making this a little harder on themselves than they have to. Throwing error from Pertus. And now Martinez on the verge of giving up his second walk of the inning. Fastball in for a strike. Previous pitcher Carlos Diaz set down 4 straight batters, but then Colombia said, we want the righty-righty matchup. They brought in Martinez, and Brazil rallying here, and there's ball 4. So signs of life for Brazil here in the bottom of the 6th. Martinez gives up his second walk, and the bases are loaded. Back to the top of the order, and that will bring a visit. And will we see a pitching change? Jorge Martinez given up 2 walks in the inning. He's really out of the inning, but then the throwing error from Pertus kept the inning alive for Brazil. Some action in the Colombian bullpen. Right-handed pitcher warming up. Ezequiel Zabaleta warming up in the Colombian bullpen. Martinez will remain on the mound. It's not panic time for Colombia. You've got a 7-run lead, but now all of a sudden 1 swing of the bat. And Brazil could close the gap to 3. Ariel Frigo. 1 for 3 today. Had a single in the first inning. Swings through that fastball. Martinez challenging him. Bases loaded for Brazil, trying to rally. That ball lifted in the air. In an awkward place, who's going to make the play? It's going to be Derwin Pomare. Catches that one to retire the side, and he throws the baseball in the air in celebration. He knows how big that out was. Colombia leave the bases loaded, stranded. So they got themselves in some trouble, but they got themselves out of it. We head for the top of the 7th inning, and Colombia lead it 8-1. Miliani, Mariaga, and Ramos are due up for Colombia in the top of the 7th. Gabriel Barbosa remains on the mound for Brazil. You see the Andes Mountains in the distance here in Santiago. Beautiful city, Santiago. They are proving to be excellent hosts of the Pan American Games, the 19th edition of the Pan American Games. So we are in the 7th inning of the gold medal game, final inning. 7-inning games of the Pan American Games in the baseball tournament. Colombia on the verge of clinching their gold medal. They are 3 outs away from being able to call themselves Pan American Games champions. Brazil, the home team, so Colombia at the bat here in the top of the 7th. Leandro Emiliani, 1 for 3 today. Singleton scored in the 4th inning, and he has struck out twice. Tops that one foul. What a famous day this will be for Colombian baseball. They've only ever won one medal in the Pan American Games. That was back in 1971 in Cali. Miliani takes low. Brazil, history-making day for them as well. They've never won a Pan American Games baseball medal. They are the South American champions. But they have never won a medal at the Pan American Games. So despite the challenges that they've got in today's gold medal game, we have to really tip our hats to this Brazilian baseball program. They've accomplished something that no Brazilian team have ever done. Miliani is on with the leadoff walk. Jesus Mariaga fouls that one away. Mariaga was called out on strikes looking in the second inning. Hit a double and an RBI in the fourth inning. Also scored a run, and he walked in the fifth inning. Sliding glove on for Emiliani. Curveball foul down the right field side. Gabriel Barbosa, the fifth pitcher today for Brazil. That's an awesome hat, isn't it? That ball hit the opposite way. That will drop in and rattle around a little bit. Emiliani into third, and Jesus Mariaga hustling all the way to second base for a double. So Colombia already enjoying a 7-run lead, trying to pile on even more here in the top of the seventh. Opposite field extra base hit for Jesus Mariaga. Emiliani scampers around to third base. And that will bring the number 9 hitter, Jose Ramos, the second baseman, to the plate. He has hit a fly ball to right field, singled and scored, and hit into a double play today. Did he go? Yes. Tough day for Brazil. They were in this game early. Colombia scored 1 in the top of the first. Brazil tied it up in the bottom of the second. But then from there, Colombia with a run in the third broke the game open in the fourth inning with 3. Scored another one in the fifth and 2 in the sixth. So Colombia have really been piling on the offense today in this gold medal game. They've had 17 hits. Marico Gouveia warming up in the Brazilian bullpen. That ball is topped foul. So it's been really convincing from this Colombian team. They wind up closing the game out to win it and win the gold medal. You can only declare them worthy champions. Ramos goes down on strikes for the first out of the 7th inning. Also ringing him up with the breaking ball. Colombia were so close to not even making the super round. They lost their first 2 games in very narrow losses. They lost their first game to Cuba 4-3. Lost their second game to Brazil 8-7. But then since then, they beat Venezuela 6-2. And that put them into a tie break. They prevailed in the tie break, and that wound up having them ranking second into the super round without a win. And since then, a huge 10-2 win over Mexico, a nail-biting 2-1 win over Panama. And here they are in the gold medal game with a 7-run lead in the 7th and final inning, and on the verge of clinching the first ever gold medal for Colombia in the Pan American Games. What a story. Francisco Acuna takes a breaking ball for a strike. Miliani, the runner at third. Mariaga, the runner at second for Acuna. Takes a fastball high out of the zone. Infield playing fairly deep. Need a warm drink here on a cool afternoon in Cerrillos. Swings through that one. Good breaking ball there from Barbosa. Acuna 2 for 4 today. Flied out, grounded out, singled in the 4th, and doubled and scored in the 6th. Takes that one inside for ball 4 to load the bases. So Gabriel Barbosa gives up the base on balls to Acuna, and that will bring the dangerous Carlos Arroyo to the plate, and will also bring a visit from manager Ramonito. Just 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Brazil doing all they can to keep that margin as low as possible, but that margin is 7 runs. So it appears that will be all for Gabriel Barbosa. Look at his pitching finger. I wonder if he's got a blister. So as we await the next pitcher to be announced into the game and from the bullpen. Just to reset the situation, we're at the top of the 7th inning. It's the gold medal game in men's baseball. Barbosa away from the dugout. His day is done. Colombia have 8 runs on 17 hits. It is Enrico Gouveia now into mound for Brazil. Comes on with the bases loaded here in the top of the 7th. Miliani led off the inning with a walk. Jesus Mariaga followed that up with a double. Jose Ramos struck out. Francisco Acuna reached on a walk. That brings us to Carlos Arroyo. If there's any batter in this Colombian lineup that you don't want to face in this situation, it's probably this guy. Arroyo 2 for 3 today. Singleton scored in the first inning. Singleton scored in the third inning. Fastball misses outside. Sacrifice fly and an RBI in the fourth inning. And he grounded out in the sixth inning. Batting .500 for the tournament. Bases loaded here. Chance to put the game away, really, for Colombia. Takes outside. Looking ahead to the bottom of the seventh. For Brazil, it would be the 2, 3, 4 hitters, Okuda, Coutinho, and Orlando due up. Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. Mauricio Gouveia painting the outside corner of the plate. Arroyo tops that one foul. It's a cool afternoon in Santiago, but the hearts will be warm in the Colombian dugout. Curveball ripped into left field. And a diving play from Murakami, but traps it. We'll just wait for the official call here. Emiliani comes in to score. Still not 100% sure if that dropped in for a hit or if it was caught. It was caught. Great catch there from Murakami. But Emiliani tagging, and he scores easily on the sacrifice fly. So nice defensive play by left fielder Fabio Murakami. 2 away now for Fabian Partus. 3 for 4 today. 3 singles and a strikeout. He scored a run. Curveball hammered, but playable for Orlando. Makes the catch to put it away and retire the side, but it is yet another run across for Colombia. We head for the bottom of the 7th inning in the gold medal game in baseball. Colombia scoring a run in the top of the 7th to take their lead to 9-1 in the gold medal game in baseball. Last chance time for Brazil. Bottom of the 7th inning. They're trailing by 8. Okuda, Coutinho, and Orlando due up for Brazil. Some of the low-hanging clouds obscuring those beautiful Andes mountains here in Santiago. It is a cool afternoon today in Cerrios. But the fans have been terrific. The supporters have been great all week at the baseball tournament. There we see some of the media and photographers ready to record the golden moment as Colombia, with an 8-run lead, are 3 outs away from clinching their first ever gold medal in baseball. John Palufo now in to pitch for Colombia. Palufo being brought in to try and close this one out for Colombia. He will face Pedro Okuda. Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-inning games, remember, at the Pan American Games, so this will be the final inning. Brazil down 8. It is a very tall order. Pelufo with strike 1. Okuda's had a sacrifice bunt, a double, and struck out looking today. It's that one sharply down the line to first base. Emiliani says, I've got it. No problem at all. 3 unassisted, and Colombia now 2 outs away from a gold medal. John Pelufo induces the ground ball from Okuda. 1 away now in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings up Victor Coutinho. He's 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out twice and struck out. Catcher Carlos Martinez with the sign. That ball is hit sharply to right field. Tough sliding chance, but Pomare with a diving catch. Derwin Pomare. How good is that? And there are 2 away for Colombia, and they are 1 out away from the championship. Great sliding catch, kept the ball in front of him, closed the gap quickly, and Derwin Pomare with a beautiful play for the 2nd out. You could see the arms in the air from Jose Ramos. This Colombian team know that they are 1 out away. Paulo Orlando representing the last chance for Brazil. John Pelufo on in relief, trying to close it out and clinch the victory. That ball lifted foul. The Colombian dugout all on the edge of the dugout, ready to run onto the field if they can close it out. Fouled away. And now Colombia is 1 strike away. The 0-2. Top foul. Orlando stays alive. Colombia 1 strike away from the gold medal. Pelufo winds, works. Topped on the ground. Pertuz on to first to retire and win the game, and Colombia are your Pan American Games champions. Incredible scenes in Cerrillos, Colombia, with their first ever Pan American Games gold medal. Colombia, you can see the delight from the players. What a tournament they had. Came back from 0-2 down in the opening round, putting on a 4-game winning streak. Disappointment, of course, for the team from Brazil, but they can be incredibly proud of their accomplishments as well. But this Colombian team making history. First Colombian team to ever win a gold medal in the Pan American Games baseball competition. And they did that in some style. 9 runs, 17 hits, a 9-1 victory for Colombia. Jose Masquera, hugs and high fives for the entire roster. Colombia, deserving winners and deserving champions. They played a fantastic game today in Cerrillos. Credit to their starting pitcher, Victor Vargas. Did a fantastic job today as the starting pitcher. But so much offense from this Colombian team. The confirmation, 9 runs, 17 hits, 1 error for Colombia. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for Brazil. Colombia, 9-1 winners, gold medal winners in men's baseball at Santiago 2023. The winning moment for Colombia. John Pelufo celebrating as Colombia give thanks for an incredible tournament and an incredible performance. So Colombia are gold medal champions, Brazil silver medalists in the baseball. That's Serios. Pan American Games, Santiago 2023. Team Brazil acknowledging their supporters. What a class act this group has been.
Damas y caballeros, quédense con nosotros porque la ceremonia de entrega de medallas para el béisbol panamericano comenzará en breves minutos.
Team Brazil has plenty to be proud of. Silver medalists at the Pan American Games. Not victorious today, but a terrific tournament nonetheless. Team Colombia assembling for the photo that they'll remember for a lifetime. Team Colombia go on their lap of honor, gold medal winners, and they're acknowledging their supporters as well. What a day for Colombian baseball. Colombian flag flying proudly here in Santiago, in Cerrillos. Colombia are our Pan American Games baseball champions. Ground being prepared for the medal ceremonies here in Sirios. What a tournament it has been. Brazil with their first ever Pan American Games baseball medal, and that is a silver medal. And Colombia with their first ever gold medal in Pan American Games baseball. Next Pan American Games will be going to Colombia, so Colombia will be going into the baseball tournament in Barranquilla as the defending gold medalists. What a tournament it has been here in Sirios. Been full of drama, full of action. After the baseball ceremonies, of course, this baseball diamond will be converted for softball. So the baseball players will give way to the softball players, and it should be an outstanding women's softball tournament at the Pan American Games. So we do hope you will come back and rejoin us to enjoy some of the top softball players in the world that have come here to Santiago to compete. But for today, it's the conclusion of the baseball tournament, and Colombia have prevailed. An incredible, outstanding offensive performance from Colombia. Just recapping the scoring line. Colombia scored in the top of the first with a single run. Brazil came back with one run in the bottom of the second to tie it up. It was looking like it was going to be a hard-fought pitcher's duel, but then Colombia scored one in the top of the third. And then in the fourth inning, as we prepare for the men's baseball medal ceremony, Colombia scored 3 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh inning to rack up 9 runs for a convincing 9-1 win. 17 hits in the game for Colombia. So now the players will compose themselves after all of that drama on the diamond to be prepared to be honored and receive their medals. A moment to treasure for a lifetime. As an athlete, you don't get very many opportunities to stand on a podium at a Pan American Games. I'm sure every player from the 3 teams that will receive medals today will treasure this moment for the rest of their lives.
Everyone, as we wait to get our medal ceremony in place, how about a time now to take out your cell phones and zoom in on the screen and take a picture of the QR code. You can tap the photo and open the link in the browser to participate in the selfie cam while we're waiting for the medal ceremony. En breves minutos comenzaremos con la ceremonia de premiación, de entrega de medallas. Mientras tanto, los invitamos a que le demos un código QR y nos hagamos en la cámara. Ya está, estamos en el selfie cam. Hagamos el zoom al código QR, abran el link y vamos a salir todos en la pantalla.
As we wait for the officials and volunteers to prepare the podium for the medal ceremony, we can share with you that the bronze medalists in the baseball tournament are the team from Mexico. The bronze medal game was played earlier today. Mexico won that one decisively over Panama by a 10-2 score. That game breaking open in the fourth inning of that game when Mexico scored 6 runs to take control of what up to that point was a really close game. So Mexico will be going home from Santiago with a medal. joining Brazil and Colombia. But I can only imagine the excitement being felt by the Colombian players right now. And I can only take my mind back to that opening round game that they played against Venezuela. I was fortunate enough to be commentating that game as well. Colombia coming into that game 0-2 in the opening round. They'd had a couple of tough, really close losses to Brazil and to Cuba, one-run losses. So they went into that game 0-2. And they knew if they lost that game, they're out of the tournament. But they also knew even if they win that game, they go into a tiebreak. So they not only had to win that game, but they had to create enough runs and enough run differential for the tie-breaking formula, the total quality balanced tiebreaker, to be applied in their favor. They played a fantastic game in that game against Venezuela. Won that game 6-2. By the time all the mathematicians were done with the tiebreakers, Colombia squeaked their way into the super round. The 1-2 record in the opening round, but winning the tiebreak. And then from there, Colombia have been an absolute juggernaut. They went into the super round facing Mexico, one of the heavily favored teams in this tournament, and Colombia made a 10-2 beating on Mexico. That set up a crucial game against Panama. And that was a nail biter, but Colombia again prevailing in a close pitcher's duel by a 2-1 score to clinch their place in the gold medal game. So after dropping the first two games of the tournament, Colombia have won 4 in a row, getting hot at the best possible time. And they will leave the field here in Cerrillos wearing the gold medal as Pan American Games champions. Thinking about our silver medalists, well, they've achieved incredible things as well. Brazil came into this tournament the South American champions. That's how they qualified into the baseball tournament. When you looked at that group, you say Brazil's going to have a hard time getting through this group. They'll compete well. They're going to be in tough. They're up against Colombia, Cuba, 12-time gold medalists, Venezuela, great baseball nation. It was going to be an uphill battle for Brazil, wasn't it? Well, all they did was win 3 games in a row, stunning the baseball world and winning the group. So Brazil carried that 3-0 record into the super round, and everybody thought, okay, you won a few games in the opening round, but now you have to play Panama. You've got to play the top team from the other pool. They're 3-0. Surely now your fairy tale will end. So what does Brazil do? They beat Panama. That clinched their place in the gold medal game. They lost their other super round game to Mexico, but they'd made a lot of substitutions, so that wasn't really troubling them. And they came into the gold medal game today knowing that they had already made history in terms of Brazilian baseball. They were going to come home from Santiago in Chile with a medal. They were hoping it was going to be the gold medal, but Colombia too strong in the gold medal game. but still an incredible achievement by Brazilian baseball. Their first ever medal at a Pan American Games, and it's a silver medal. So, although they're going to be disappointed, I'm sure they will reflect and realize the magnitude of what they've done for Brazilian baseball with a team of largely amateur players, a few professionals, but pulling off an incredible tournament and a silver medal for Brazil. I've been enjoying social media and some of the posts from some of the Brazilian supporters as their team clinched a place in the gold medal round. And it was really joyful to see some of the scenes of the Brazilian players on the bus after the game when they clinched their place in the gold medal game. You want to find that and you want to have a look at that because it will put a smile on your face. I can guarantee you that. So, baseball already strong in the northern part of South America. Now getting stronger in the central and southern parts of South America. Chile making their first ever appearance in a Pan American Games tournament as the host nation here. And now Brazil, the South American giant nation, showing that it's not all about Colombia and Venezuela as far as South American baseball goes. Brazil have put themselves right into the conversation as one of the strongest teams in South America. But the other South American team, Colombia, earning the right to call themselves not only the champions of South America, but Pan American Games champions. 8 nations qualified to compete in the baseball tournament here in Santiago. They were split into 2 groups of 4. And here on a cloudy afternoon in Cerrillos, the baseball tournament has concluded the on-field activities, and now the only act remaining are the ceremonial awarding of the medals. It's a great moment of honor, of course, for the athletes, but let's take a moment here to acknowledge the contribution of the umpiring crew. They're not going to go home with medals around their necks, but the crew really gave a gold medal performance in an umpiring sense. Did a great job right through the whole competition. So let's acknowledge Edwin Hernandez, Emmanuel Perez, Christian Madero, Gregory Jimenez, and Gustavo Pena. Your umpiring crew for the baseball competition. That crew of 5 worked every single game in the baseball competition and did an excellent job. So although it'll be the players that remember their moment with medals, it is a considerable honor as well for the umpiring crew to be selected to officiate in such a prestigious competition as the Pan American Games. So I'm sure our umpiring crew will take away equally fond memories of Cerrillos and Santiago 2023. This is their pinnacle moment as an umpiring crew, and we are grateful for their contributions to what has been an outstanding baseball tournament. This first base side view, we generally see the beautiful Andes Mountains in the distance, but we've got some low cloud today in Santiago, slightly obscuring the snow-peaked Andes. We're at the Parque Bicentenario de Cerrillos. This park was constructed in 2011 to honor the bicentennial of Chilean independence. It's also the home for the Athletes Village. So medal ceremonies preparations nearing completion. And soon we will welcome the medal winners onto the field.